Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the flaming hot grilled cheese burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Refreshing and goes down smooth. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
How's your day going?
Going good. Thank you. Yes.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
You could win one of 2 trips to see Banana Ball live. Purchase 2 Body Armor products, use Let's Go Rewards, and you're entered to win. Right now, Body Armor is buy one, get one for $1 with Let's Go Rewards. Start getting those entries in. Let's go.
Around here, toughness isn't talked about. It's lived.
Matt Wagner with the one-handed catch down.
Early mornings, late nights.
Going forward with Ford.
Work that doesn't make the highlight reel.
Same mindset, different uniform.
This is the blue-collar grit, earned, not given.
Tough days don't stop us. They build us.
McMillan shoots and scores.
For the workers who don't back down, Ford doesn't either.
Shannon fires.
Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, rowpaint.com, and the Blue and Orange store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
What's up, Bronco Nation? Happy Wednesday to you here. Rainy Wednesday here in Meridian. My name is BJ Rains. This is Bronco Nation News Live at bronconationnews.com. As always, we're in the Sun Cruiser Studios. Whether it's a blueberry lemonade, strawberry lemonade, the half and half, the peach tea, all the various flavors, make sure you pick up a Sun Cruiser. Now available in 12 packs from your local gas station or grocery store, and our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, Jim Sturk and Company, Jamie Drake, the whole crew over there. We appreciate them. Now is the time, folks, for that next new or pre-owned vehicle. Make it at Lithia Ford of Boise. Huge show for you today. I apologize for yesterday. Those of you that were expecting a show yesterday, I was expecting to do a show yesterday. But to be completely honest, practice was going very well, and they were doing some good things, and I didn't want to leave practice early. And then by the time I looked at my watch and they told us Spencer Danielson was going to go a little earlier than usual for his interview, there wasn't enough time yesterday. I should have got something in the chat faster. My understanding is a lot of you guys were waiting for a long time for the show, so I apologize for those of you that were waiting and for the show that never happened because, like I said, a lot going on yesterday. And we did talk to Spencer Danielson for over 20 minutes, 25 minutes really, about the presidential search, about his contract, about spring ball, about Saturday's spring game. So a lot of good stuff from Spencer Danielson. You can go back and watch that interview at the YouTube channel of BroncoNationNews.com. So YouTube.com/Bronco Nation News. Hopefully that's where you're watching this live broadcast right now from. But if you are on Facebook or Twitter, X, whatever they call it now, please start switching over and watching on YouTube. But if you are on the YouTube channel now, you can watch the full 25-minute interview with Spencer Danielson up on the YouTube channel. So again, apologize for the show yesterday. Did have a good excuse, was able to watch practice, talk to Spencer, and then it just got too late in the day, and Jay Tuss was no longer available. So it's on me, all fully on me, and I apologize. And I'm going to make it up to you, though, for today and tomorrow, the next couple of shows. Today, Matt Lauter, Boise State, former Boise State tight end Matt Lauter, scheduled to join us live here in about 15 minutes or so. He's finishing up a workout. He's back in, I believe, Gainesville, Florida, where he's originally from, and he's getting a workout in, getting ready for the start of the NFL draft tomorrow. And Matt Lauter going to jump on and join us live as we preview the upcoming NFL draft and get ready for what's going to happen with some of the Boise State players this weekend. A little later in the show, going to be a long show today for you. We may go 90 minutes or so today, so settle in if you're a Boise State fan. Plenty of Boise State football talk here, like I said, with Matt Lauter over the next 30 to 45 minutes. But coming up around 9:45, Shawn Garris, the volleyball coach at Boise State. Well, why would you have the Boise State volleyball coach on in the spring? Well, they announced some cool news recently about playing some matches in Extra Mile Arena. We're going to get the lowdown on the new blue court they're going to have playing in Extra Mile Arena. Could they ever play a volleyball match out on the blue at Albertson Stadium? We'll ask him all that stuff here with Shawn Garris. So it's going to be a fun interview. They just played I guess you call it a friendly or a scrimmage or a spring match, whatever you want to call it, against Oregon over at the Nike facility over the weekend in Oregon. So we'll ask him about that. But cool news with the Extra Mile Arena. Boise State volleyball going to be back in the arena coming up. We'll talk to Coach Shawn Garris about that. And then our third live guest, Pat McCurry, the head track and field coach, is going to join us. They got the Ed Jacoby Twilight on Friday over at Donna Larson Park. I think the gates open around noon, and there's field events, distance events, and then some primetime events, I think, starting around 5:30. So all day they're going to have it's the only home track and field meet of the year for the Boise State track and field meet. It's the second annual Ed Jacoby Twilight, and that will be on Friday. So the head coach is going to join us, Pat McCurry, for a few minutes as well to talk about that coming up. So some volleyball, some track and field, and plenty of football coming up here over the next 90 minutes or so on Bronco Nation News. Are going to talk a little basketball as well, and I guess we'll start off on basketball. No news is good news, I think, for A.G. Nato. Been reporting on this show for a couple weeks. There was really no worry with A.G. Nato. He was expected to return. He is, going to be returning, it looks like. The transfer portal closed last night, and there was no announcement about A.G. Nato. And my understanding is he's been in the fold for a while. There's no need to worry. They just haven't made the announcement yet. But A.G. Nato, nothing to worry about. The transfer portal closed last night. They do have up to 48 hours, I believe, to where it could show up, and you just have to tell your compliance office that you want to enter the portal. So I guess technically at 11:59 last night or 10:59, whatever time it was that it closed, he could have emailed the compliance office, said that he wanted to go in the portal, and maybe it just hasn't gotten public yet, and that'll show up in the next day or two. But I was led to believe, talking to some folks the last couple of days, no worries, A.G. Nato is good, and they were just trying to find the right time to announce it. So I guess until Boise State officially announces it. Nothing is officially official, but I think there is zero reason to worry. So you get A.G. Nato back, you get Spencer Aarons back, you get Peanut Carmichael back, you get Bun Bohm back, and some of these guys, Ethan Lathan, and then you have now a couple guys in the fold as well with Stanback coming in, Wheeler Thomas, and then the JUCO center as well. So a couple of spots left. My understanding is they're targeting like 2 guys left. So I saw somebody in there saying they're asleep at the wheel. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily the case. They've added 3 guys, and that's more than I think San Diego State's added at this point. That's more than some teams have added. So they've added 3 guys. They've got 2 spots left. The portal closed, and I think you all know this by now, but the transfer portal closed last night. That just means if you're going to enter the portal and change schools, you have to enter the portal before midnight Eastern or whatever it was last night. You do not have to have a new school by last night. So there are still 1,000 plus players out there in the portal, and Boise State is still hosting Zoom calls and visits and things like that. I believe we saw there was the Northern Illinois guard setting up a Zoom call with Boise State. So they're out there still looking and searching and trying to find some guys. I'll try to get you the exact name here real quick. But they had the Zoom call with Valentine, the Northern Illinois guard. And then I believe Jermaine Washington, the San Jose State guard, is setting up a visit with Boise State as well, someone told me. So keep an eye on Jermaine Washington from San Jose. I think you guys saw, I mean, obviously the Colby Garland would have been the guard everybody wanted, but I think he's getting $1 million+ to go to Georgia Tech, so that wasn't going to happen. But another starting guard, Jermaine Washington, I think had 18 points, 6 rebounds against Boise State in that Mountain West tournament opening round game. I think he's a target, so keep an eye on Jermaine Washington. And I mentioned Valentine. There was a tweet out there. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was exactly. But they are trying to, they had a Zoom call with him and maybe setting up a visit on him. So asking about those 2 guys, BSU Bill, that's 2 guys to keep an eye on there. I still think they could go for another big guy. Another big guy really wouldn't, if they could find another center. I mean, I'm not sure if Stanback or if the JUCO kid are your starting center right now. I mean, maybe they will be in that combination of those 2 guys. Then I could see them going for another big guy still, because I'm not sure either of those guys are ready to take that over. And yeah, you could use another shooter for sure. We'll see, BSU Bill. I think they've spent a lot of money. I think they've spent a lot of money already. And so I'm not, trying to make excuses or whatever. I've kind of been told, and I think folks should maybe temper your expectations a little bit with the last 2 guys. You're not going out and still spending $1 million to get an Isaiah Hartwell type. I think they're, Stanback costs money. Just because he was a lower level player or whatever in the SWAC, like, you had to pay Stanback. A lot of people wanted him. You had to pay Damari Wheeler Thomas a lot of money to get him. So, and you had to pay Nato and Aarons and Carmichael. Like, they only have so much money. It's Boise State. It's not, you guys see all this money and these offers and all this. And I believe I was told that like a Drew Fielder got 3 times what Boise State's offer was. So these numbers get out there, but a lot of these schools have unlimited budgets, so to speak, with the Kentuckys and Kansases of the world. And so when you're at Boise State, this is all real. You have $3.5 million to spend. The budget went up by over $1 million this year. And that doesn't just mean they can go get guys for $500,000-$600,000. They all these guys cost money. Like even a average big guy in the portal is getting like $500,000. Like it's crazy right now. So I think the expectations have to be lowered. They have some money left, but it's not like they still have over half their money left to go get 2 stars. Like, I'm not saying for sure the best player they're getting is already on the roster. I don't know that, but I think folks should temper their expectations a little bit when it comes to the quality of player out there on the market that they're going for. But my understanding is 2, maybe 3 guys, but probably 2 guys. And are either one of those a quote starter? I don't know. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, and BSU Bill says transfer market is up 30 to 60%. $1 million increase isn't as much as we thought it was going to be on paper. Agree. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to like totally poo-poo this. Like, I just don't know if either guy is going to be a guy where everyone's like, wow, they got him. Like, I think they're going to be contributing solid players probably, but in terms of like that headline star player still coming, I've led to believe that may not be the case. We'll see. Let's see. Gonzaga podcast said their center is on the list. Yeah, I did see that. That's a name to keep in mind. Like I said, I do think they're still trying to get another center. We've been talking about it, alluding to it. International, maybe a way you go for the center as well to try to save some money. I think the JUCO kid's going to play, and I'm very intrigued. The 6'11" guy that shoots over 7 threes a game. I mean, you look at his percentage, guys. Only Andrew Meadow and Drew Fielder shot a better 3-point percentage than the JUCO kid Boise State got last year. And 46 threes, I think, from Dylan Andrews led the team. 46 made threes, and he had like 76 last year. Now, I get it. It's JUCO. It's free for all, whatever. But when you take over 7 threes a game and you make 76 threes, I mean, you're making 2.5 to 3 threes a game at 6'11", and you're shooting 36%, which would have been the third highest percentage on Boise State's team. I'm not saying he's another Drew Fielder or the next Drew Fielder. Like, he's got a long way to go. I think they need to get him in shape a little bit, add some weight to him and stuff. But, the meal plan and the training and the gym is much different, at a Boise State than it is at a JUCO. I think that, let's see, any clue why he was at such a lowly JUCO? Still waiting. I mean, Boise State has not officially announced him yet. So we're still waiting to get some more information on that. Could be grades. A lot of times JUCO guys just all of a sudden explode and get better. And maybe that's the case as well. I mean, but the stats are pretty impressive. It is JUCO. You watch the highlight film and some of those are like high school gyms that he's playing in or worse. I mean, it is what it is. So I'm very intrigued by him. I think he's going to play, but is he how good your team is he a 8-minute guy off the bench, or is he playing 20 minutes next year? And Standback, really like him, but is he a starter, or is he your 6th or 7th man that comes off the bench and plays 15, 20 minutes, or is he having to play 30 minutes? So I think if they still had one more big move in him, another really solid big guy would be nice. But if you want to just go Aaron's, Standback, the JUCO kid, Diang, and then Lathan maybe improves and sees some time there. That's fine too if they get the right guys at the wing or the guard. I mean, don't forget, a lot of people are sleeping on Julian Bowie. I think he is could be the quote unquote shooting guard that people need. A lot of people are writing him off because he didn't play last year. He showed some signs at the end of his freshman season, and I really think they like Julian Bowie and think he can be a key contributor on this team. And so I think people are underestimating. I mean, let's be honest. The two guys are going to add, and a lot of people in this chat, a lot of people nationally are probably going to sleep on this team, probably say the portal additions weren't enough, probably going to say it's a mid-level Pac-12 team. And on paper, that's probably going to be fair. I mean, a lot of these guys, you're coming from lower levels, whatever, they're unproven. I get it. And then you're also asking for your returning players to make massive improvements. You're banking on Pearson Carmichael having a really good offseason and getting stronger in the gym and being well into a double-digit scorer for you and improving his percentages and things and being a guy that can play defense and play 30-plus minutes a game. You're counting on Nato and Aaron's getting back to, not only where they were early last season, but pushing past that. I mean, as the season went on, Nato and Aaron's both looked like they kind of plateaued a little bit and didn't necessarily get a lot better as the season went on. And at times, both of them were almost unplayable out there with some of the mistakes they were making. But they're freshmen, and they have high hopes. And if you can have strong off seasons from Nato and Aaron's, and both those guys can have big seasons, I mean, that changes things. I mean, for me, how good is Boise State going to be next year? It hinges on Nato and Aaron's, and how much better is Bun Boom going to be next year, and Carmichael, and these returning guys, this returning core that they're banking on. Yes, you need the newcomers to come in, and you need guys that, can come in and make an impact. And they obviously, had to go out and get 3 guys already, and are going to go get a couple more. But I do think some people are sleeping a little bit on some of the returners, whether it's Bowie, whether it's Carmichael, maybe Aaron's, Nato, some of these guys. I mean, I do think, see you, Vlad. Take care, bud. Have a good day. I do think some of you are sleeping a little bit on some of the returners. And so we'll see. Like I said, they're going to add 2 more guys when the roster is done. I don't think on paper, a lot of people are going to be super stoked about it, but that's the cost of doing business in the portal these days. You lost a player to Oregon. You lost a player to Alabama. Like, it's hard to replace those guys. So, it is what it is. But I do think there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to need to have big years, and I think they can, and they're going to need to. They're going to need Nato and Aarons and some of these guys to have monster years, and then how do some of these other guys fit in? We'll have to see. But the portal did close last night, and again, that means you can enter the portal, or you can still exit the portal and go to a new school, but you had to inform your compliance office last night that you're going to add players. Yes, Tater Tom, you can still add players. There's 1,000+ players still out there. All it means is you cannot leave your school. As of right now, if you're on a roster, you're staying there. You cannot enter the portal as of now. But if you are in the portal, you can take as long as you want to pick a new school still. So Boise State still has 1,000 players or whatever it is to choose from in the portal, and they're going to try to find the right one or two. And as we mentioned earlier, keep an eye on the Jermaine Washington kid from San Jose. Keep an eye on the Northern Illinois guard. So there's still names out there. The Gonzaga center. And like I said, I still don't think the international route's totally dead either if they want to go that route. So they've got, obviously a little money to spend and some spots still to fill, but we'll see how impactful those guys end up being. And then, like I said, knowing a lot of you in the chat, knowing a lot of Bronco Nation, is knowing the feel around this team. I think a lot of people probably, when it's all said and done, will be underwhelmed with the roster. But all I will say is, all I would say is, BSU Bill, you know what you're talking about, man. BSU Bill knows. If I didn't know anything, it's like a Mike Burns burner account or something, because BSU Bill, pay attention to that guy because he knows what he's talking about a lot of times. I'll just say that. But we'll see. I'm curious about it, and we'll see, obviously, what happens with the portal. But on the basketball side, it is closed, and we'll see who they add in the portal. All right, we're about 60 seconds away from having Matt Lauter join us. I do want to thank Lithia Ford of Boise, our title sponsor. Lithia Ford of Boise, Jim Sturk and Company. Matt Lauter knows something about Jim Sturk and Lithia Ford of Boise. We appreciate Jim for his support of Bronco Nation News, our title sponsor. And whether it's a new or pre-owned vehicle, get out to Lithia Ford of Boise, online at lithiafordboise.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, another great sponsor of ours here at BNN. We appreciate Idaho Central Credit Union. Branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest, that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Idaho Central Credit Union. Make the switch today, iccu.com. And hey, if you want to go to Banana Ball on the Blue, that's right, Banana Ball is coming to the Blue. The Tailgaters, the Party Animals, going to be playing some baseball on the blue turf here later this summer. 2 chances for you from our friends at Jackson's. You can go see them in Eugene, Oregon, or in Boise. Buy 2 body armor products. You get that second one for $1, by the way, and then you're going to be able to enter using your Let's Go Rewards app, your phone number, and you're entered to win one of 2 trips to Banana Ball from our friends at Jackson's. All right, our first of 3 scheduled guests is ready to go. Just finished a workout. We won't make him wait any longer. There he is. You know him, you love him. The stash is going strong. Matt Lauter, nice enough to join us here on Bronco Nation News. Matt, appreciate you, man, finishing the workout early, or at least pausing it for 10 minutes here to join us. How we doing?
Good, man. How are you? Thanks
Doing
for having
great.
me on here.
Yeah, doing great, man. Bronco Nation's fired up. We're going to be talking tomorrow with Braxton Feely and some of your old teammates, and catching up and just trying to get everybody's kind of mental state at this point, getting ready for the biggest couple of days of your life. I actually got to go to the draft last year and cover Ashton in Green Bay, and that was a really cool experience and kind of changed my perspective, seeing how it works actually being there, on that Thursday night of the draft. But for you, man, just what's a couple of days away, and just kind of what's your thoughts on where you sit and stand, and it's kind of going to be a weird feeling for you that your future and your livelihood and all this is just kind of hanging out there in the balance for the next few days.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's definitely nerve-wracking. We've been training for, 4 or 5 months, kind of in this weird period where it was like, all right, like we're training for pro day, we're actually training for something, and now we're kind of sitting around, and teams are obviously, going over their boards, watching our pro days, rewatching film, just getting the board set. And, they're going to try to find the right players to fit their organization. And we're kind of just waiting for that one team to call, whether that's in the draft or in free agency. So right now we're just, trying to stay in shape and be as ready as possible.
How did your pro day performance change things for you? I mean, did you start to hear any uptick from teams, or confidence wise? Because obviously you did some really nice things both in the testing and with what you did on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I think teams were kind kind of labeling me as, like an F tight end or an H tight end. So, they wanted to see me run in those 4.6s. And, I think I'm versatile enough to play inline Y and also F and H kind of all over the field, which helps me a ton, right? Because, teams are holding, 8 guys now at the tight end position, which is crazy because, they use this for special teams. It's a physical position. But, yeah, it's awesome. Pro Day helped me a ton, to get in that 4.6 range. Show the scouts I can run routes and, I'm fully healthy and can block as well. The Saints guy put us through some drills and it was cool to just get out there and compete. It was definitely nerve wracking at first with everyone watching up on the in the weight room. But after that, it was kind of like playing football again. It was fun.
Yeah, in terms of some of the numbers they released, and I know some of them are unofficial or guys have different times there, but a 4.6, 640, and you're on there in the broad jump and the 20-yard shuttle, I think, was 4.4 and 21 reps on the bench press. Nothing to be sad about either. What has ever since that pro day? What has that been like? Have teams been reaching out? Have you talking to teams? Do you feel any better about your chance of getting drafted than maybe you did before that day, or how did the interest kind of pick up?
Yeah, let's not forget about the 7-0 3-cone drill, man. That was
my mistake.
I'm just kidding. But so basically, after that, I talked to a few teams at Pro Day. They have all the film from our Pro Day, and I started getting, a ton of calls from scouts, and then that kind of transitioned into talking to tight end coaches and head coaches as well. So, we're going to see what happens. If I don't get picked up, then, obviously I'm going to get signed somewhere, but, it's pretty complicated because if you don't get drafted, there's priority free agency and then there's free agency and then there's mini camp. So, priority free agency teams are still investing, some money into. So, still grateful for an opportunity there. But yeah, it's been cool being able to, talk to scouts and connect with these guys. And they're asking me about who are you outside the locker room? Who are you inside the locker room? The culture at Boise State is unreal. The things we do outside of the locker room, there's so much opportunity in Boise. Man, what a great place to be. So it's kind of fun to brag to the scouts a little bit. About being a Bronco.
Matt Lauter, our guest, Bronco Nation News. We're getting ready for the NFL draft starting tomorrow. Former Boise State tight end. And I know sometimes they say the free agent route's actually better than like a 7th round pick because you can pick your spot on the depth chart and all that. But there is something too to hearing your name called. what would it mean to you to be in one of the 7 rounds and add your name to the list of drafted players from Boise State?
Yeah, man, it would be incredible. So I'm really excited to see, where I end up and whether that's a phone call from a team during the draft process or being a priority free agent. The priority free agent route, like you said, is not always the worst because that's what we hire agents for, right? They're going to try to find, the right fit for me and a team that doesn't have much depth at a position or maybe needs tight ends for special teams, which, we're versatile and we're trying to contribute all over the field. So either way, it's going to be incredible. But, hearing your name called is always, going to put a tear in your eye. All the hard work, has paid off.
I think I asked you this after the Pro Day workout, but just the fact that whether it was injury to Mad Dog and the game with all the rain and just some of the stuff that happened last year, you just didn't maybe have the stats. And obviously when you have the Ashton Genty, 2 years ago and just the running game that you guys have, obviously you have plenty of tape and that's great, but was it at all frustrating or do you how do you look at your, stat wise? We saw, I think it was 12 catches the senior year of John Bates and it's worked out just fine for him. So, does that at all something you have to overcome, maybe the lack of production compared to some other tight ends, or are teams seeing through that with the circumstances and see what you've done in previous years and the tape speaks for itself?
Yeah, I think teams definitely see through that. That's kind of what I'm banking on my pro day and my film I put together. Sometimes there's some unfortunate circumstances that happen. Like you said, John Bates only had 12 catches or whatever. But for me, obviously having that big junior year coming back, you think you got to be beating out your statistics or whatever. And it's really just about showing up and doing the little things. And unfortunately, I had a broken hand last year, which was frustrating, wrapping that up in a cast and all. But yeah, sometimes things don't go your way, and you got to continue to look at it in a positive way.
What are you a guy that you're going to be like watching every tight end go off the board starting even on like Thursday and counting down? And is there a range where you think you're at, or are you just going to kind of wait for the call? I mean, how are you going to be monitoring, the draft itself?
Yeah, I think day one I'll kind of see, some of the guys probably go off the board, Sadiq, guys like that, and then day two, start kind of watching the draft. See some more tight ends go off the board. Be extremely blessed if I were to go that day, and then day three, that's kind of the day where I'm going to know where I'm going to be going, whether that's the draft or free agency. But yeah, just knowing I can compete with any of those guys who went to the combine, any of those rookie tight ends. Say a team draft one and take me in priority free agency. I'm coming out there to compete. So.
And you're down in Florida, correct?
Yes, sir.
So someone's asking what you're going to do on draft day. What are you going to do? You get out and play a round of golf in the morning, or how are you going to take the stress off? Maybe waking up, like you said, you're hoping for Friday. That'd be amazing, but
yeah,
in all likelihood, it's going to be Saturday at some point. So how are you? Do you have any family, friends coming over? Any plans, or how are you going to try to pass the time?
Yeah, my lady's coming in town. My brother's coming in town. I got a cool little Airbnb down in Gainesville, saltwater pool. So probably just kick it by the pool. Probably go out, get a quick lunch, and then come back and just kind of sit around on the couch and wait to see what happens.
Matt Lauter, our guest for a couple more minutes here on Bronco Nation News. What you mentioned special teams, and we were talking to Stacy Collins, I think it was a couple days ago or last week, and he was mentioning how George Halani, or whoever, I think it was Stacy Collins, but George Halani, literally the special teams coach of the Seahawks at one point, called him and said, "I need a special teams guy. Who do you got?" As a non-drafted guy. Said some things about Halani. He goes in there. Next thing you know, he's scoring touchdowns and on a Super Bowl championship team. How much do you think your ability to play special teams maybe could be a tiebreaker for you?
Yeah, it's huge, right? The tight end position, you got your one, you got your two, and then you got your three who's in there blocking. But then there's that fourth and fifth guy. You got to contribute on special teams. I know the Ravens even asked, "Hey, can you long snap?" Yes, I can long snap. I'm coming to compete, try to get a spot on special teams, and then fit and learn that offense and fit in that offense as well. Tight end in the league is just like it is in college. It's still a developmental position. We got to be the quarterback, we got to be the O-line, we got to be the receiver. So just being able to even if that means sitting on a practice squad and learning the offense, just being able to contribute in any way I can and create relationship with the coaches and the guys.
So had you ever snapped before that, and how have you been practicing that just as a last thing?
I snapped a little bit in high school. My brother was a long snapper too. But yeah, I kind of been working on that. If my name gets called, I don't want to go in there and just launch it over the punter's head. So I kind of want to be somewhat accurate. So yeah, I've been working on that, and another developmental thing. But I mean, a team's going to be investing in me, so I'm gonna work my tail off to win games for them.
Who are a couple of teams, maybe for fans out there, that are just going to be monitoring all this and rooting for you? Do you have any teams that you've at least talked to, or you feel a little, if you had to place a wager down, that might be a little more likely to take you than others? Or
well, the Ravens are really interested. The Saints are interested as well, and the Rams. All teams that utilize versatile tight ends and need guys, because some of their guys are getting older, and they need versatile guys to come in and compete. But yeah, those are three teams that have shown a ton of interest. And
all right,
yep,
Saints. I mean, the obvious connection there. I think folks in Boise would be perfectly happy with that.
Yeah, they got obviously Kellen, and then actually their OC Doug Nussmeier was my neighbor in Gainesville for a little while, so he kind of knows about me. Yeah, pretty sweet.
I always chuckle when I hear you're in Gainesville, because you had that controversy like a year ago where everyone thought you were transferring.
I know, and then my mom went on there and cleared it up. That's funny.
What do you make of your time at Boise State, man? You're still wearing the Boise State logo right there, and obviously you always, you're not throwing that gear away, but you're obviously about to put on a different helmet and pads and a jersey. But I mean, what do you make of your time? And you were a guy, and I've asked you before, and you kind of shot the question down. Maybe now that you're done and you stayed, maybe you're willing to open up a little bit. But I mean, you seemingly would have been a guy that had opportunities to go elsewhere at times and stayed. And just what do you make of your college career and in the last 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, Boise's, a special place, changed me from a kid into a man. Special program. We had some struggles at first when Avalos was there. And then, when Coach D stepped up, Coach Potter obviously had that huge junior year. And, that was a life-changing year for me. Met my lady at Boise State. And then, outside of the facility, just what a special place. People so bought in, invested. I heard you talking about Jim Sturk. What an amazing dude. Those are relationships I'm gonna have for the rest of my life. Like I text Jim like on and off every other week. I know he's busy and it takes a while to get back to him, but that's just one example. Boise is a special place. There's nothing like floating the river in the summer with the boys. Excited to, I kind of want to make Boise home for me no matter where I go, whether that's buy a property there, maybe invest in something so I can have something to go back to. But man, I love Boise, Idaho. I try to tell everyone in Florida, but they don't listen to me. So but it was amazing. Obviously a huge jump start to my career, and I'm excited to see where I end up next.
You going to be the guy that's like in the locker room on college football Saturday, like sporting the Boise State stuff and talking trash or making bets with guys on the team that have guys at the other school or whatever? I mean, maybe be a little smart about that against Oregon, but some of the other games, I mean, Memphis, whatever. I mean, are you that guy that's going to be? I know it's late nights or wherever you go, but still trying to watch as many games and follow the team and your friends as you can?
Yeah, I got back to Gainesville like 2 days ago, and I was popping in for spring practices, texting Coach D, congrats. Still love the energy of that program, and I like going out there and seeing all the new guys, talking to Butch about, all the new transfers, and it's just cool to, see the team. Obviously, our tight end room, like we were so close knit, and it's like, all right, Wags, like, time to step up. Like he's going to be a stud. And then those other guys in the room, like that it just excites me. You know what I mean?
You got out at the right time though, because they've gone live like almost every practice. They've had the most live reps and like tackling and stuff that they've ever had. I think you're probably not too sad you're missing spring ball again.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to Potter about that, and he's like, "Yeah, we got a ton of new guys. We're gonna ramp it up, go 2-sided live." And I was like, that's good for you guys. Let's go. Let's get after it. Let's compete. So I'm excited for that program. And yeah, I'm always going to be a Bronco.
Well, I guess final thing for you, Matt, just kind of similar question to the first one, but just as you sit here, 72 hours from Saturday morning and the draft starting tomorrow, this has been a lifelong dream for you, man. You've played football your entire life. To be able to call yourself an NFL player and put on a helmet and a jersey, and just what have you let yourself realize? Just I know it's nervous, whatever, but have you let yourself just kind of realize that, like, whether it is drafted, whether it is free agent, whatever, like you're a couple days away from living out a dream you've had for 20 plus years. I mean, what is the mental feeling like at this point, and just how proud, I guess, and just what are the thoughts as you get ready to live out this dream?
Yeah, right now I feel like I haven't, man. I feel like I really haven't been able to sit down and think it through. I think, after where I know where I'm going, I'll feel a lot better. And, and, then I'll be able to call myself a Panther or a Bronco or whatever the case is. But, right now it's definitely been pretty high stress and some anxiety, some nerves. And then I think after Saturday, that's kind of when I'm going to, come to realization that, whoa, like it's now my time. So, and I'm excited to go out there and compete. That's one thing.
Well, we appreciate your time, Matt. Best of luck.
Yes,
hopefully
sir.
It all goes well with you. Maybe we can catch up with you again in the near future and talk about your new home, and looking forward to following you in mini camps and OTAs and things. But congratulations to this point. Hopefully it's a memorable, great couple, day for you this weekend, and looking forward to, like I said, staying in touch and catching up with you again soon.
Yes, sir. Thanks, BJ. Have a great week, bro.
You too, man. Appreciate it. Great
See ya.
stuff from Matt Lauter. Appreciate him for jumping on. And man, would be awesome to see him jump into that 5th, 6th, 7th round and add his name to that tight end list. But I think everybody that's kind of watched Matt over the years knows that if he doesn't get drafted, that doesn't mean anything. He's still going to find a way to push and claw and fight and earn his way onto a roster and do some damage. And yeah, you wish the stats could have been a little bigger, but that's no fault of his. I mean, he doesn't call the plays. He doesn't have the ball thrown to him, things like that. So I think that certainly wasn't necessarily all his fault when you think about the stats. Was very little his fault, to be honest, when you think about the stats. And so if he had a bigger year, maybe it would have helped him, coming off that junior year. I think there was a little more talk about him, and then, things happened and it is what it is. But as I said, John Bates, I want to say had 10, 12, 15, maybe 18 catches, something like that, his senior year. So obviously a lot of opportunity ahead for him and the Saints. That'd be cool if the Saints could do something there. That would be awesome to add him to the Saints with Kellen Moore in that group there. So yeah, that's awesome. All right, a ton still to get to. We're talking basketball portal. We're talking spring ball. We got a little bit of volleyball news, track and field we're going to discuss as well. We're going probably 90 minutes today, folks. So stick with us here on Bronco Nation News. We appreciate you guys for watching the show. Hopefully you enjoyed the Matt Lauter interview. Again, Braxton Feely will be on tomorrow's show. Going to have Matt Lauter today, Braxton Feely tomorrow, and we'll see if we can track down some of the other guys as well as we get you set for this weekend and what could happen in the draft. But hey, Sun Cruiser, make sure you get that blueberry lemonade, strawberry, all the different flavors of Sun Cruiser. Pick up a Sun Cruiser today and let the good times cruise at Sun Cruiser. And again, they have the iced tea lemonades, they have the vodka lemonades, all different flavors. Check them out at Sun Cruiser. Hey, Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. Whether it's the breakfast quesadillas, those breakfast hash browns are the best I've ever had. They've got all the great crispy chicken Cantina tacos and the whole Cantina lineup. The SON Management Group, the Nicolason family, we appreciate them. So adding items to the menu daily. And if you haven't been to Taco Bell in a while, you'll be amazed at how delicious and great the food is and the ever-changing menu. They've still got the old staples and things as well. So check out a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location. Cheap, delicious, and quick meal. Our friends at Treasure Valley Taco Bell. Hey, you can own a limited piece of Blue Turf history with the new jacket, fully customizable jacket. The Blue and Orange store celebrating the 40 years of the Blue Turf. The varsity Letterman jacket kind of looked there. 40-year anniversary of the Blue Turf. And I know they have some things they're going to do in relation to that coming up here moving forward. And I know they had a 30th anniversary team. Maybe there's a 40th anniversary team. Who knows all the celebrations they had planned. But 40 years of the Blue Turf. And you can get more information, Blue and Orange store, online at theblueandorangestore.com. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate. Number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Check out Matt Bauscher, whether you're looking to buy or sell a home. Our friend at Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. All right, checking the comment section here. Again, a lot of kind words for Boise State there. And sorry, I didn't see this question about his agent. We were so damn lucky to have Lauter at Boise State. Best of luck to him and his family. Let's see here. Reoccurring theme. Want to live here after sports, special place. Yeah. I think that's obviously that's proven. A lot of guys leave and want to stay here and come back. I mean, Riley Smith, the guy from Florida, still has now made Boise his home, and some of the other guys that from far, far away have decided to make Boise their home. I think that's something you typically do see. The George Helani route, yep, mentioned that. Priority free agent deal into a Super Bowl ring. And honestly, the running back 2 status, he was signed for special teams. He was signed because they needed a special teams guy and worked his way into the running back room. So the fact that guys can play special teams and that, part of a game is very important in the NFL. And if some guys think they're too good for special teams or whatever, but if you want to make an NFL roster, you have to be able to play special teams. So Matt Lauter, I think, is certainly a guy there that can do that. I put the number at 1.5, earlier this week. I with Brad Bedell, 1.5, I think is a pretty good number because I think Cage Casey is a lock to get drafted. And then can they sneak one other guy in there? Can you get Braxton Feely in there? Can you get Matt Lauter in there? Any chance at one of the other guys? Like, I really would want to take over on that and hope another guy can steal in. But given Boise State, given how it seemingly guys always fall in the draft from Boise State for injuries or various reasons or whatever, and the bad luck I think Boise State's had in the draft at times. I think the smart bet is probably under. I mean, the under 1.5 is probably like a minus, it's a favorite. Minus 200 maybe is under 1.5, and the over 1.5 might be plus 220, 230. I don't know, those don't line up, but it would definitely be more unlikely that it's over 1.5, I think, because I just don't know. I don't know if they can get a second guy in there. Would love to see Matt Lauter get in there. Like I said, I think if he gets in, in the right situation, he could certainly have some success there. But to this point, I just don't know if they can get that extra one. I think they're going to get to 1.5, or get to 1 for sure, but we'll see. Skinner has carved out a good role in Denver because of his special teams ability. Yeah. I mean, Scott Matlock made the Charger, got drafted by the Chargers in part because of his special teams prowess and the things that he can do on special teams. So yeah, you have to be able to play special teams. We do have some info on the spring game. Let's see here. 1:30 is still the start time. There's going to be post-game autographs, a flag football scrimmage also presented Shields for some of the Optimist Youth Football League. There's some media information on here. I'm trying to see if there's anything else for the fans. I know they're going to announce some stuff coming out today or real soon about some various things that you can do to go see the new seats in the north end zone. I know there's going to be maybe even a small portion of the concourse of the north end zone that's open, and maybe even some seats. I'm not sure exactly. So I know there is going to be some different things with the north end zone project at the spring game. Some more details, announcements, things are coming on that. So stay tuned. Saturday spring game, again, 1:30, and you can go and get information on all various things. But I do think they have some plans for the north end zone coming up on Saturday. So, all right, let's switch gears. Busy show today. We appreciate Matt Lauter for joining us. Going to talk a little track and field coming up with Pat McCurry as they're hosting a home meet this weekend. But Shawn Garris, head volleyball coach at Boise State, joined. Coach, you got to update your Twitter profile, by the way. It still says sand volleyball on there as well when I went to look. So
that's been a while.
Yeah, okay, all right. I wondered if you had a new account or something. I'm like, no, I think this is still his account. So we got to update the X profile there, Coach. But Shawn Garris, head volleyball coach at Boise State, was mentioning it earlier. I don't know if it's old news by now, but it came out a week or two ago about the playing the games in extra mile, and I want to ask about that. But you guys are actually in a spring season right now, so to speak, or practicing, and you had a fun opportunity over last weekend. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we get spring season similar to football. We get a certain amount of practice dates, and then we're allowed 4 competitions that don't count against your record. So we try to align something regionally here with somebody we can get together and measure our skills and see what we got to get back to the gym and work on. So last week we met Oregon over at the Nike headquarters in Beaverton, and that was awesome. Awesome experience for our student athletes, but also great competition for our team, and we performed really well. So overall, just a great trip. We bussed over there on a Friday afternoon, got over to Nike pretty early so we kind of see the sights, and we were playing in Krzyzewskiville, which is one of their side gyms that they have that's all themed as like kind of a Duke Carolina setup, which is really cool for the girls that have any basketball knowledge at all. Others had to ask their dad, who's Krzyzewski and how do you pronounce that name? But overall, it was a great trip. The girls played really well.
Yeah, you should have made them try to spell it too.
Yeah.
That's so how does that work? You get, I think I heard you say on Jay's show, you can't fly anywhere, so you have to be able to bus, and there's a limit, but what is in terms of a spring season, what does that allow you to do?
Yeah, so 400-mile radius, and don't miss any classes, so you can't fly. Really try to make sure the athletes are on campus being traditional students when we're out of season, which is tough because we're a little landlocked here in Boise, so we get creative. We met Portland out at a high school in Pendleton, Oregon to scrimmage against them. We've met Washington State up in McCall and done it kind of like a retreat. Without so many great names and high-level programs in our backyard, we have to get creative and travel a little bit. But we make the most out of it, make it a team-building experience as well as competition.
How are you feeling about this? I know you still got, thankfully, 3, 4, 5 months, whatever it is, till the actual season. But how are you feeling about things?
Yeah, we do have 4 months until the season, but we don't have a lot of time with our athletes. Once we finish this spring segment, we've got a little bit to wrap up this week where we do some individual sessions on the court, kind of what you're working on, what you're doing really well, and what you can work on in the summer on by yourself, and then meet in the office as well and talk a little bit more about academics and just life in general, and just make sure we're making those connections that are so important with the athletes. But I believe we have a really good group. We had 4 transfers come in January, all 4 playing a different position and all bring some level of experience and skill that we were needing. So in that regard, we return a good group from this spring to next fall, but it's a lot of new pieces. We lost a couple really good kids to the transfer portal, but I think that we reloaded quite well and really excited for the opportunity to play in the Pac-12 with this group.
You just answered Surf City Bill's question here. He says, does volleyball have a portal?
Yeah, so we actually have 2. Not a huge fan of that. We have a portal in December, which opens right when they start our NCAA volleyball tournament, continues until January 1. But that's a weird timeline. Like you're wrapping up your season, which is nice. You have the portal after your fall season, but it's the holidays. Girls are finishing finals. It's hard to get people to come and visit. Campus likes to close down, so we're working on admissions. There's a lot of challenges on finding kids in the portal during the holidays. But we have a second portal in May. So May 1st, there's a second portal that goes for 2 weeks. That's usually not as busy. Most kids are trying to find their new home and train with their new team in the spring. But we do have a second portal in May. I think those rules are all being examined for what's the right thing. We're trying to create good opportunities for students, but student-athlete experience needs to be thought of a little bit more. And it's not great to be bouncing in and out of programs at the level that kids are now.
How is the switch to the Pac-12 impacted you guys, and what's the level of play going to be over there?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I truly believe that the strongest programs in the Mountain West are moving to the Pac-12. So the Final 4 in the conference tournament this past year are all 4 teams going to the Pac-12. So the strength of the Mountain West is moving along to the Pac-12, joining Washington State, Oregon State, who were in the Pac-12 when it was a national powerhouse in volleyball. And then I think Gonzaga and Texas State will be nice additions as well. Texas State actually had a top 50 RPI last year, so they're going to be a really good program right away. So I think the conference is going to be really good top to bottom. I definitely really like the more connected field in the Northwest, that you're going to have more traditional rivals with Oregon State, Washington State, Gonzaga than we had with like a New Mexico or something like that.
Shawn Garris, our guest, for a couple more minutes here on Bronco Nation News. And the main reason I wanted to get you on, Coach, volleyball coach at Boise State, was because of the news a couple weeks ago about Extra Mile Arena. And I know that kind of had a lot of people excited. The blue court, playing an Extra Mile Arena. I know this is something I remember talking to like 5 or 6 years ago about this. You've been wanting to do this for a long time. And what's this process been like? And to finally have it come to fruition this year, what's your excitement level?
Yeah, you're right, BJ. We have been talking about this for a long time, and it's all about finding the best upside for our program. So Bronco Gym creates a really cool game day atmosphere where the crowd's right on top of the court and it's loud and good energy in there. But we get capped out at how many fans we can get in there. It says the capacity is 1,400, but they need to be skinny and really, really friendly with each other to get 1,400 people. But in the arena, we can blow it out. So the opportunity to go into there and get a big name opponent like a BYU to come to town and try to get 4,000 or 5,000 fans, set the record attendance for a female sport at Boise State. Like, that's what I think we can accomplish by going to the arena. And Jeremiah loves the opportunities to blow things out. Like, what can we really do when we get a chance to sit and talk with no guardrails about what's possible? The arena comes up as what's something that we can do that could get our players excited about what Boise State's doing for them, and that we can attract the next level recruits and help us win championships.
What's the it's so loud in there and you have such a great atmosphere. What is the trade-off to going to play in a much bigger space, and how many fans would you need to make that, still, I know you're going to turn the court sideways, put it down, close to the, and kind of run it, I don't know if you're going to curtain it off or what you'll do on that half, but I mean, it won't be at the center court, so to speak, of the basketball. So you can get three sides pretty close to the action. But how was there any worry about, okay, we need to get 4,000 plus, or this ended up not being a positive for us?
Yeah, all good points and all things that we discuss a lot with our facilities team about trying to do the right thing. I believe a unique volleyball setup is important to go in there. I don't think you want to go into a 12,000 seat arena with your same 1,000 people and just lose the vibe, lose the energy. But if we have a unique setup We set it kind of up against the bleachers on one side, have the crowd on top of the court on three sides. I think we can add to the energy actually in our venue. And then in addition to great sound system, video boards, and every seat's chair back, concession stands, everything about it, it's a top-notch facility. And so the opportunity to play in there once in a while with a big crowd is great. But you're right, we do need to consistently average more fans than we could fit in Bronco Gym, or it's just not worth it. And that's a challenge for us. Our preseason schedule is set up so that we're going to play multiple matches over weekends, and that's not necessarily conducive to every match getting a big crowd. We don't just get one match here and there. So not every match is going to need to be in there for us to be successful. But we really want the upside of going in there once in a while so that we can blow it out and get a big crowd.
And I was talking to Craig. I guess the plan is 2 tournaments, maybe some select matches as well. Do you mentioned BYU? Is that set, or do you have when the first one would be, so to speak?
No, it's not set yet. Those are the discussions that I have with their coaches, and we work with our administration to finalize those details. But the preseason tournaments are set. We know we're going to get some matches in there. We have to work around our own challenges within our department. Some weekends football's home, some weekends football's on the road. That can be an opportunity or a challenge in that we're sharing the same parking lot and trying not to butt heads at all with how we staff events and provide the best experience for our fans. So all things that we're still working through, but we know that it's on the table as Extra Mile is working closer with our athletic department to try to continue to grow our brand.
And would there be pushback from the other schools, or would they see that as because more fans obviously, and it might be tougher? Do they think maybe it would be less of a quote unquote atmosphere than it would be if they've played in Bronco Gym?
Yeah, I think that would be a mixed bag. We do play in some large arenas. Like Colorado State plays in the middle of Moby Arena, which is pretty big. Fresno's in the middle of their arena, which is massive. That's a big hockey arena that they play in the middle of. And honestly, we outdraw them when we go down to play at Fresno because we have so many families that travel and watch. So I think it's a mixed bag. The idea of trying to get the general attendance up it's there. The growth of volleyball and around the country, it's doing really well. And as we move to the Pac-12, it's the right time. We just need to get the schedules aligned and ink the dates and then start the marketing plan behind it to make sure that our fans know where they could come see us. And
maybe you said no guardrails, and I know Jeremiah doesn't stop anything. And I think about stupid, crazy ideas that have no chance of happening all the time. But any way this is the lead to possibly getting, I mean, you're going to laugh probably when I say it, but we've seen it at a couple other schools out there. Could we ever see an outdoor match on the Blue?
Yes. It's absolutely happening at other schools. Nebraska did it first. A couple years ago, they sold out their football stadium for a Nebraska volleyball match, but they partnered with a country western concert that was playing after them, which is really cool. And Jeremiah loves those type of cross promotion things that can just keep on growing, get more people on campus and following the Broncos. So all those things are possible. The first step is play in the arena that's 50 feet away from our current space and create a better atmosphere and get our players really excited about you can accomplish all your goals here at Boise State.
What about an exhibition basketball game, Boise State versus Idaho or something on the Blue, and then a couple hours later before a volleyball match out there?
We definitely are talking a little bit about how we can cross promote and use some of that, because when we're finishing our seasons, when basketball's starting their season. So trying to schedule that stuff out in advance is really important, but it's all on the table. And those are not crazy ideas. It's happening around the country and it's working. And we want to make sure we're on the front edge of being creative and finding ways to be successful.
And the new blue court you guys are getting, is that only for the games in Extra Mile, or is that for every game now?
It's portable, so it can go anywhere, but it takes a little bit of time, manpower to set up and take down. And we're not the only user in kinesiology. They've got classes in there to worry about and rec sports and other things. So it's all possible. But right now, that court is specifically being purchased so that we can create a great atmosphere in the arena. It could be mobile enough to play in Bronco Gym, but right now it's about getting a custom volleyball court, which we can design, which we can choose the colors of, the logos, graphics, and really make it pop when a fan walks in and sees something that's really special and unique to Boise State.
Awesome. Cool. Awesome stuff. Looking forward to it. And yeah, can't wait to get out there and hopefully the schedules line up, get out there to see that in Extra Mile Arena. That's going to be cool. Congrats on getting that done and best of luck this season. I'm sure we'll catch up closer to the season, Coach. And no, not golfing weather today, unfortunately, in the rain here, but I'm sure you'll get out there on the course soon.
I look forward to seeing you on the course later this spring. All right, BJ. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Great stuff. Shawn Garris, and that's awesome. Get the volleyball match in Extra Mile Arena. And And yeah, who knows? A couple years from now, maybe we'll get one out on the blue. Why not? I think fans would come to that. That'd be awesome to do that. All right, we are going to talk track and field in just a second with Coach Pat McCurry, but I do want to tell folks about Signature Roofing online, mysignatureroofing.com. Check them out. Whether it is a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, or an inspection, all your roofing needs, make sure you hit up Signature Roofing. And again, leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/BNN. Element Fencing online, elementfencing.com. Decks, pergolas, fences. Brady and his staff, 25 plus years in the fencing business. They're ready to help you build that perfect fencing project from the ground up. They repaired a fence at our house a couple years ago. Great family-owned business. And if you're on the fence about that next fencing project, now's the time with Element Fencing. Ridley's Family Markets, shop ridleys.com. 13 locations around the state of Idaho, surrounding states. Don't go to the corporate conglomerate, folks. Think local. Think Ridley's Family Market. Just a friendly environment. Great prices when you head into a Ridley's, whether it's the McCall location, Treasure Valley, Magic Valley. Ridley's Family Markets. Find a location near you. And rowpaint.com. Want to give them a shout out. Appreciate Andy Rowe and company. If you're looking for interior, exterior painting, that painter for a day project, you provide the paint, they provide the painter. And, of course, their concrete coatings, world-famous concrete coatings. We've done that on our garage, our back patio at our old house, and it just transforms the look of that ugly concrete slab in one day. So Row Paint, all your painting needs, make sure you check them out online at rowpaint.com. I mentioned a lot going on in Boise State athletics, and that includes coming up on Friday, the Ed Jacoby Twilight coming up. We're super excited for that, and super excited, nice enough to spend a couple of minutes here. Even though I'm 2 minutes late getting to you, Pat, I apologize. But Pat McCurry, nice enough to join us, head track and field coach. How's it going, Coach?
It's going okay, BJ. Just want to get this rain out of here before Friday.
My kids play youth baseball. I feel like I'm a meteorologist at this point, checking the 10-day forecast and all that stuff, trying to do it. But hopefully it looks like today, get it out of here, and hopefully better for the weekend. But you guys are hosting again, second annual. What has this meant for the program? I mean, this is your second year, so you probably had a lot to do with this. But what does it mean to have a home meet in the Treasure Valley?
Yeah, there was a lot of things on the priority list when I got the job here almost 2 years ago now, but hosting a meet was really high for a couple of reasons. One, we need to honor Coach Jacoby's legacy. I mean, that is the golden era of Boise State track and field. We don't make any bones about that. That's who we want to be again, balanced teams, getting teams to nationals, getting individuals to nationals consistently, winning conference team championships. Coach will be in attendance again this year. It's awesome to have him out there. And have our alums out. We have an alumni tent right by the track. So it's a great event to tie to Boise State's track and field history. But also just, our kids, we had good kids that had been here, 3 years and never competed at home, and been multiple years since they've had a meet. And they were so excited to compete, at home and actually have a senior night. It's just cool to get eyes on our program and get track and field back into the community.
So it's Friday. The gates open at noon for the field events. Early distance events begin at 3. The primetime events start at 5:30. It's only $5 a ticket. They can be purchased right there at the gate, and there is a free shuttle that will be provided to the East Stadium lot at Albertson Stadium right there to Donna Larson Park. So a lot of, great, like I said, transportation, $5 tickets, a lot of great reasons. Hopefully, great weather by Friday. And kind of a dumb question, I guess, but just not having to travel, not having to pack a suitcase and get on a plane to go, like, is that even from a mental state, but maybe even from a physical state at all? Is there any kind of advantage to being the home team?
Absolutely. I mean, our sport, travel is not easy in any sport, but we end up often at multiple different meets, different locations on the same weekend. Associate head coach Emma Wren does all our travel. It's a bear to take on. So just the logistics stress. And, last week we had our distance runners at a meet in LA. That's a great meet, and we get a lot of great marks out of it, but it's 3 nights worth of track till midnight. It's exhausting. Our meet, not only do we get to be home, it's kind of the opposite of that. You mentioned the schedule, and we do have to do some of those field events early just because of logistics, facility limitations. But we're really trying to consolidate as much as we can in the evening and make this a fan-friendly thing. I mean, you can just pop over there after work. We pour beer just like they do at the softball games. You can get a cold beer.
Now we're talking.
Stands. Yeah. And, you only have to be there. The whole meet's done a little after 8 p.m. So you could roll in at 5:30, watch some amazing high-level track and field for a few hours and go home. And that's what we're trying to present instead of these mega meets that last all day.
Well, we'll get back to the event on Friday itself in a minute, but just for folks watching the show that maybe you're kind of paying attention but not kind of dialed into track and field right now, where are you at this point in the season? And just give us a Cliff Notes version, I guess, of the season at this point and some of the top performers and stuff.
Yeah, we're nearing the end of our regular season. Our championship season in track and field goes a long time. So we have, Mountain West Championships mid-May, then 2 weeks after that, NCAA National first round, then 2 weeks after that, NCAA National Finals. So you're going mid-May to mid-June, just championships. But we're nearing the end of our regular season, which is really, development, getting ready for championships, and also getting qualifying marks for that NCAA first round. We've got a number of athletes soundly qualified for that at this point. But we've got some great things going in the jumps. First of all, Coach Mark Badowski's just done a phenomenal job with that group. That group was non-existent when I got the job here and our staff started. A phenomenal recruiter, phenomenal coach. I mean, Raekwon Weatherspoon, top 10 in the country right now in the long jump. You're going to see one of the very best long jumpers in the entire NCAA jump Friday night if you come out. In our women's long jump group, 12th in the country as a squad ranking. And so that's an average of the top 4 jumpers. Only 11 schools in the entire country are better than Boise State right now in the long jump, which is really cool. So great things in the throws. You see Tanner Nett, local kid, went to Bora, played football at Eastern Oregon, and then we got him back on the Pavia rule extra year for NAIA kids. Yeah. We actually got Victoria Lotz, our best women's thrower, on that rule too. They'll both be throwing the shot put in that primetime window. Both our 4x1s are really good. We're very strong in distance. We don't feature those events as much at home. Just not a great place to run distance events, but we have some of our really good athletes in the 800. So the action will be fast. You'll see a lot of high-level athletes.
I like how I chuckle there on the Pavia rule. Like, no one talks about track and field when it comes to some of these, but you're like, hey, does that work for us too?
Oh, absolutely. Our throws coach, Kelsey Bethhauser, she jumped right on it. We got the NAIA national champ in the hammer, Tori Lotz. She was from Kent School in Kansas, got her out here for her final year. She's just been phenomenal. Not only a great thrower, but just an awesome leader, awesome personality. And then Big Bear Tanner Nett just tearing it up for us. So it's pretty cool to see those kids get a D1 opportunity at the end of their career.
Now, 27, you guys have set or improved 27 all-time top 5 program marks this year alone. You mentioned some of the individual standouts, but what is it as a group? Why is maybe year 2, what you kind of want to build on from year 1 to year 2, taking over this program and to set, I don't know, I'm not going to lie, I don't know every single thing there is to know about track and field, but to set or improve 27 all-time top 5 program marks here in like 4 months, seems like a pretty good accomplishment.
Yeah, we're pleased with that. Like in a lot of sports right now with the heavy international influx and kind of loosening amateurism rules, I'd say, and money, the competitive level of NCAA track and field is rising rapidly. But we're rising with it. Obviously, we're having kids, put up marks better than we ever have here at Boise State across all event areas. BJ, I'd say it's the same. We tell our kids the same thing. We're building this program 2 ways: development and recruitment. And we brought in 36 new student athletes. We have roughly 80 in our program. 36 were brand new this year. So we built basically a throws group and a jumps group in one recruiting class, and they're tearing it up. So you could say that's recruitment. But we had a lot of athletes here that we inherited that were really high level kids. We just needed time to stay healthy and develop. That are running a lot better than we ever have. A lot of our women's distance runners, like a Bianca Bonke, is just tearing it up right now, and she's 40 seconds faster in the 5K than she was a year ago. Wow. And so it's both things. It's like it would be with football, recruitment and development. You got to do it on both ends.
And I know you added Marissa Howard to your staff, an Olympian in the steeplechase in 2024. But you think about the history that I think fans watching this show probably know. But I mean, you go turn on those NCAA championships or whatever, almost every year you're seeing a Boise State logo somewhere and somebody doing something, and national champions and Olympians. I mean, it's maybe not the school people think of in terms of providing a lot of, but I mean, how has that helped, I guess, in terms of recruiting and that brand, and does that help some of the recent last decade or so, some of the national champions or top 5 finishers that you've had?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a consistent national presence. waned a little bit for a few years there, and we brought it back where, we had 3 at the outdoor championships last year, 2 indoors, which indoors is insanely hard to qualify for. Women's cross country team qualified as a team, finished in the top 25 nationally this fall. So kind of quickly gotten back to that national presence. But yeah, there is a strong history here with athletes like Malia Menegatti, also a volunteer assistant on our staff that was a multi-time national qualifier. The biggest value in having Marissa and Malia around, honestly, BJ, is mentorship. I mean, you know how young athletes get, and get in your head, especially in a sport like track and field. And so to have an Olympian walk into the team room every day and they see her train, every day, and they see that she's human and it's not easy all the time and she has ups and downs, but how she handles it with grace and poise and how balanced her life is. The attention she puts into training in every detail is very different than most college athletes. So it's just a phenomenal mentorship thing to have them actually present.
Well, Friday, Coach, you mentioned it. It'll be senior day as well as alumni day. 21 seniors, I believe, are going to be recognized. You mentioned the, $5 tickets and beer for sale. I mean, that's going to get most people watching this right there. But what would be the final sales pitch here and just preview for this weekend, as the white folks watching should bring the family out and come check this out, the Edge of Kobe Twilight on Friday?
Yeah, I think like a kind of streamlined schedule. Like I said, you can pop in, have a beer, a Coke, a hot dog. We do have a kids 100-meter race at about 5:15, 5:20. So kids under 12 would come out on the track and run 100 and get a high five and fist bump from our Bronco athletes. So there's a lot of just fan-friendly stuff, and stay for as long as you want. When you need to go home, you need to go home. So it's an easy, low barrier to entry, right? It's easy. But also to see high-level athletes and really to see our seniors is cool. We compete at home once a year. That's it. That's all they get. And it happens to be their senior night. They absolutely loved it last year, and it was really cool to see, we had our alumni tent like right there by them and see all the alums cheer for them as they come up and get their picture and their flowers and everything. And that senior night means a lot. We only get to do it once a year.
Well, again, a free shuttle will be provided because parking's always tough over there. The east side lot at Albertson Stadium, free shuttle will take you over there. Down in Larson Park, $5 tickets. The gates open at noon, as you said, for some of those field events, and then early distance events begin at 3, and the primetime events start at 5:30. Coach, appreciate you for jumping on. Best of luck. Couple comments here, by the way. Ryan Skeen says, McCurry, great job, buddy. And then, of course, we couldn't get through the interview without someone commenting on the sweet stash there.
Of course not.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thanks so much for jumping on. Best of luck, and hopefully we get through some of the national competitions and things moving forward. We can get you on again.
I would love that, BJ. Thanks. Go Broncos.
Appreciate it. There he is, Pat McCurry, doing big things in year 2. Obviously had some local ties, was here before, and is back and doing a great job as the head coach here in year 2. And again, Friday night, what else you got going on? Come on out and support the track and field team, the Edge of Kobe Twilight. Again, Friday night, they got free shuttle, $5 tickets, and should be fun. And hey, you can even buy a beer there. So it's going to be a fun day there on Friday. And yeah, they're doing big things. And again, best of luck to them this weekend. So appreciate Pat for jumping on. Appreciate all of you for jumping on as well. Sun Cruiser, make sure you pick up a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise, whether it is a lemonade, vodka, all the different flavors they have, strawberry lemonade, blueberry lemonade. Pick up a Sun Cruiser during the draft tomorrow night or Friday or this weekend. And of course, we mentioned Lithia Ford of Boise. Matt Lauter, he had a vehicle with Lithia Ford of Boise. A lot of athletes did. Lithia Ford of Boise, a lot of them still do. Matt Wagner's kind of kept that tight end tradition going from Riley Smith to Matt Lauter to now Matt Wagner. I guess it's like a rule that the tight end has to have a vehicle from Lithia Ford of Boise there. But appreciate Lithia Ford of Boise, our title sponsor. New or pre-owned vehicle, now is the time. Get out to Lithia Ford of Boise. Again, online, LithiaFordBoise.com. Hey, another shout out, another night in the Mountain West, Tom Moser. He hosted the first episode last Sunday. You can go back and watch that if you want some college basketball talk, whether it's mostly Pac-12, Mountain West, and then maybe a St. Mary's or a little WCC, maybe a little Pac-12 or a Big 12, Big 10 if USC and Oregon are doing something, whatever, but Arizona State, whoever. But mostly going to be Pac-12, going to be Mountain West, the show you know and love. Another night out west. The debut episode was last Sunday. He'll be doing it in the offseason here every Sunday at 8 p.m. So make plans to join, watch the show live, bring your questions, your comments, or watch the show throughout the week if you can't watch it. The first episode is up on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel right now. You can follow their channel as well. I think it's just Another Night Out West is the handle there on and follow the new channel on YouTube as well. So again, every Sunday, get your off-season basketball fix with our man Tom Moser there on Another Night Out West. Appreciate you guys for joining us. Some football talk. If you missed part of the show, Matt Lauter came on earlier in the show, and we are going to have Braxton Feely on tomorrow. So Braxton Feely will be on tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to that. And we're getting you set for the draft on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So going to be fun. So appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot for joining. Go subscribe at BroncoNationNews.com. We got football, basketball, portal stuff, all kinds of coverage online. The message boards are popping right now. So jump in there and discuss with other folks and friends in the BNN message boards. We do have the free message boards if you're not a paid subscriber, but we have the VIP board where a lot of the intel and insider info goes, so to speak, in there. So appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Hope the rain stops soon. And appreciate Pat McCurry, Shawn Garris for joining us, as well as the SID staff there with Nick and Craig for helping set those up. And then, of course, Matt Lauter finishing a workout early to jump on with us as well. So fun show today. Appreciate it. We'll be tracking football, basketball, all that good stuff. Like I said, BroncoNationNews.com. You can subscribe today. I think 50% off offer still going on. So appreciate those of you that already have. And we have practice tomorrow. I really do want to do a show. I don't want like what happened yesterday to happen where I say we're going to do a show and we don't. So I will make it work tomorrow to do a show. I believe it'll be about 10:30, but I will check with Prater and see exactly. Prater is switching days and doing tomorrow with me, so I believe it's going to be about 10:30. I mentioned Braxton Feely will be on as well, so we'll let you know. But stay tuned for that. But we will try to get you a show tomorrow on day one of the NFL draft. So have a great day. Stay dry. Appreciate you guys. Go subscribe. Go support the sponsors. Sun Cruiser, Lithia Ford of Boise, Jackson's, ICCU, rowpaint.com, Taco Bell, the Blue and Orange Store, Signature Roofing, all of our major sponsors, all of our sponsors, period, whether it's Matt Boucher Real Estate, Ridley's. With so many great sponsors, and we appreciate all of them for making this show possible. And that includes rowpaint.com as well. I mentioned Signature Roofing, Element Fencing, so many great sponsors, Jackson's. So appreciate all of our great sponsors. Hope I mentioned them all again. And go support them. Tell them you're supporting them because of what they're doing for BNN. It really, truly does matter when it comes to them wanting to re-up for their investment to sponsor the show. So if you want to keep these shows free and daily and have us even potentially add shows in the evenings or more shows throughout the day, we have to be able to monetize that, and that includes keeping our sponsors happy with return on their investment. So go support the sponsors. Tell them you're doing it, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow at some point as we navigate practice as well. So we'll see you online. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. Take care, everybody.